Today, the mod I'm going to be showing you these tricks on is the ladder fire truck that I made for FS19. I'm going to attempt to convert it over. There's some Luas in this that I don't know if they're going to work or not, but at least the basics that how I got the previous truck in game, I'm going to show you in these videos. Make sure to hit that like button here, guys. If you like it, let me know, because I don't like making these videos if people don't watch them. So your interaction is very, very, very welcomed. So on to the video. Very first thing we're going to be looking at is the modDesc version inside the modDesc.xml, and we're going to change that from whatever it is to 62. I can tell you already, because I've tried it, this LightExtension in specializations, if you had any kind of flashing lights, strobes, cop cars, fire trucks, whatever it is, this isn't going to work having this line here anymore. So we are actually going to remove that. I don't know about the pressure washer vehicle. We'll find out maybe in this video. The mod categorization and mod title, this is when you see trucks or you basically make your own category. These do work as is, so don't even touch those and they'll work just fine. Same thing with the coding that has to do with changing the category and what it says below the mod. So those all work just dandy. Under vehicle types, I have noticed that the like I said, LightExtension needs to be removed, and then as well the tensionBeltObject. Giants basically made all vehicles strappable now, so we don't need to have that in there. Water trailer and pressure washer vehicle, that has to do with the Lua up here, and I won't know about that yet, but hopefully in this video we'll get back to it. As far as everything else inside of the modDesc, the brands, nothing changed there. Same thing with the store items. Not that I know of with input bindings and the 110. This all should work as is. Sounds will no longer be located underneath the motorized tab, so we will remove that. We're gonna move it up to the base tag, which is all the way at the top, right underneath store data should be the base tag, and you're going to copy and paste your file name sound into there. We will cover the file sounds in a different video. schemaOverlay has been changed from this to this. Under the lights tab, we're going to delete the sounds once again. We're going to be removing all the sounds from wherever they're at in the XML. Just hit delete and we're moving on. Under drivable, there's more sounds, water splash template. We're going to delete that. Moving on again. Moving on to the motor section here, we now have a transmission that if you find a working in-game mod, you can literally just take their transmission, and we're going to copy and paste it in there, and now this ladder truck has a transmission. Nice and sweet. There is a new gear levers code in here, but until we get access to GE, basically it's going to give an animation when you shift gears, first, second, third, reverse. And if you play with the in-game lizard truck, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Just look down while you're in the cab and you'll see the gear levers moving. The code inside of this would be controlling that. There is a new exhaust i3D path. It is no longer particle systems shared. It is effects, exhaust i3D. So we will just highlight from the $sign all the way to there, copy and paste it. Now the exhaust is fixed. There's been changes to foldable. It is now foldable, folding configurations, folding configuration, folding parts, folding part, instead of foldable, folding parts, folding part. So what we will do is we will just drag this over here. These are going to be different animation names, right? So I just copy the previous animation name and kind of the same stats that it had prior, and then we can delete the old foldable, and now foldable is fixed in your mod. At the very bottom of cylindered, you're going to want to delete this sound file. The AI collision trigger now has to have dimensions, so find in-game mod and copy and paste some dimensions. Then if you are able to use the editor, kind of use your knowledge here. This is a big fire truck, so let's just say 5. The AI collision is so that the NPCs in game don't run you over. And this is really long, so maybe like 8. I'm guessing here. I haven't opened it up and actually looked, but that's how you would change that. There is now a new agent tab you can put inside of there as well, and I do believe this is for the hired people. But you would want to have these dimensions pretty accurate going inside the editor and making sure everything's on edge so you don't end up with a worker driving your truck into a ditch. The horn still works the same, but at the same time we're going to delete it because it is now used in a separate XML file. I haven't had any issues running tensionBeltObject unchanged. I did remove it from the vehicle type in the modDesc, but not actually in the mod, and I've had no errors with it, no issues. Stuff still straps down even. One neat little trick that I think Giants did on us that I'm going to do some testing here, but I get an error when I run the Lua file, but if I leave the code inside the mod and just run the mod, remove the Lua, the strobes work. So more testing needed, but they might have installed the LightExtension into the game. Let's cross our fingers. I have noticed in some previous mods I've been working on that certain materials are not in the game, and you'll get a i3D file selection error for whatever number it is you picked, and sometimes it'll automatically just pick a close color. So that is something I'm still investigating, but also a change I've noticed. Next, I'm actually going to open the vehicle i3D with a text editor. Never opening the Giants editor as of this point. Still waiting for that. Each and every time I open it up with Giants editor and save, it's going to leave a mark in the file. No matter if I delete it or not, it'll do it every time. So every time you hit save in GE, you come into here before you put it into a zip folder and load it in your game, and you delete this asset. Otherwise, you'll run an error in FS22 saying you're using an old one. So to trick the system, that's how you do it. Next, we're going to go down and make sure that every single one of these textures is in the mod, including these ones here, the data with the $sign. This is reaching into the old game, FS19, and trying to use all these textures. So if I successfully want to convert this mod, I need to go into the old FS19 game files, either copy and paste this texture and put it inside my mod, or try to locate the exact same texture somewhere inside the new FS22 if it's the same. But I have noticed certain things like this clear glass, it's the same texture now in FS22, but they've removed the 03. So when I go to run this, it might be in the shared folder still in FS22, but they've changed the name, and some things they put vmask and a number of other things. So keep that in mind. Next, you're going to want to be using your log text to actually walk through all these texture issues you're going to have right off the bat. Once you track all these down and make sure they're in your mod, some people won't have this problem, but I use a lot of in-game stuff from FS19, and trust me, I regret it, but now I have to go and track down those files so the editor knows where they are. I'll give you a little example real fast on how I track these down. Let's look at this first file here. It's the numbers diffused file. I know that it's in the data folder, it's in the maps folder, in the textures folder, and in the shared folder. So I'm going to be looking for numbers diffused. The easiest way to do this is to open up the game. Wherever it's saved at, eventually you're going to find FS19, data, and shared, or whichever folder you're in. You can just go straight to data, do a search for numbers diffused. Sometimes if you go straight to data, if you can cheat and if you can see it's in maps, then go to maps. The search will be a lot faster. So now it found numbers diffused. I like to have up another window, and I copy this to my mods folder. So inside my mod, I have made a shared folder, and because I make folders and put the i3D in them with the XML in a separate folder just to keep my mods clean when I make packs, I have to use this ... to go up one file. So now under the shared folder there is a numbers diffused.dds inside of my mod. It's no longer trying to reach into the game system because it will just run an error. When it came to the shaders, I did have some issues with the number shader, so all I did was copy and paste it from FS19 and put it inside a folder named shaders inside of the mod itself. Next, I went and tracked down all these files here and I put them inside of the mod in a shared folder, changed the address to match its location so it's no longer digging in the game data for the file. It can actually just find it in the mod. Later on you could clean all this up, but I'm using a lot of parts from random stuff to save on space. And when it came to the mirror shader, the in-game one for FS22 worked. I didn't have to change the settings at all. Whether the mirror is actually working, I don't have a clue because I couldn't get the mirror to work, but it didn't run an error. So next, the shaders, the silage bale shader seemed to work just fine. The vehicle shader, it's going to run a parse error, but you're definitely going to be able to get your mod in game. We won't be able to fix this until they give us GE9, the new Giants Editor 9, which nobody has. But these are some band-aids that I use to get my mod in game. If you enjoyed this video, you definitely should hit that like button right about now, because this took a little bit to record. And a lot of hair. Pulling out your hair left and right. We're going to jet back up to motorized really fast to cover some things that I missed before. The stat types under the motorized tag, they have added stat types car. I'm assuming that there is a ton other we can look at. We'll just have to find examples inside the coding and check them out. Under the fill unit, they have also changed this where it says fill unit, unit text override, and here it says unit. So this is the FS19 version, this is the FS22 version. It will give you an error to fix this. Under enterable dashboards, this is an FS22 dashboard. They have changed it from 19, which it said number, to now it says text. It's the exact same thing, operating time, except the nodes where it says numbers here, this would be the node in the game, so wherever the index path is, now it just says node instead. So same thing, just change those two around. They mean the exact same. Next, you can change your text color now. You can change your text size. I'm not sure on the text masking. I'm sure I'll learn that later. And your font. Apparently there's a list of fonts somewhere in the game we can find. And groups is motor only active, so that has changed as well. Now they have license plates in game. We probably won't be able to play with this too much until we actually get the new Giants editor, but the code is in the game. This is a multi-state. It is for a key rotation, I do believe, so it allows a key to be turned on using animations. Sound templates can be added to the wiper actual animation at the bottom now. You may also get a obsolete AI collision trigger ground where you're going to need to replace it with an empty transform group and add the size. So we already added the size previously. I'm going to show you how to replace it really quick. So you have your mod open up your body, and we're looking for where it says AI collision trigger right there. Boom! Okay, so now we have the AI collision trigger. It is this big box that keeps the NPC cars from hitting you. Well, from what it says to do, we create a transform group. I'm just going to copy the name here and name it that, AI collision. Then I click on the AI collision. I'm going to hit Control and W. What this is going to do is it's going to bring up the replace function, and it's already on that AI collision. So now I'm going to click on AI collision trigger, hit load, make sure none of these are clicked, hit replace. And this is going to put it right in the center, just like it wanted. I'm going to delete the one at the bottom, ensuring that there's nothing but the main body there. I'm just going to check a couple things else. Okay. Then I'll hit save. And now we just fixed the collision trigger issue. After I hit save, it's going to ask me right here. It's been modified by another program. Do you want to reload it? I'm going to say yes. What you do now is you scroll up to the top, like I said earlier, and you delete the asset. Hit save. Now it's ready for FS22. If I come back in and do any editing inside of the editor and I hit save, I'm going to have to bring back up this and delete this, then hit save before I zip it and put it in my game. You should have good results each time. I've tried to keep this as short as possible with as much information as I could, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button and the like on this video. I would really appreciate it, and you can expect more to come as I learn more here. Good luck. Comment any questions you have below. I'll do my best to get them answered. And while you're at it, you can go get your free download of the Colorado ZR2 for Farming Simulator 22. Has a few little shading errors that we're going to have to deal with till the new GE comes out, but I've had good feedback on it so far. That is a public version on my Patreon page. I will put the link in below. There's also a 19 version that is public as well. The link is in the profile along with the zip to download it. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.